Good morning, everyone. This is Adam Helfman. Welcome to Hire It Done on 101.1 WRIF, everything that rocks. Great home improvement advice on a Saturday morning. We are kicking butt today. And in studio, live on radio with me is Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement. Brian, I want to give you a good welcome back, my friend. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me back, Adam.
It's been not a long hiatus, maybe a couple months.
Yeah, it's been, I think 2.5 months, maybe.
Okay. So since we're on the WRIF,
Right.
You're loving that, I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, last week was a great inaugural show. We had Jared Beauchamp from Beauchamp Water, king of water.
Right.
Has his new water brand, 322 Water, which is cool and the cleanest water you can drink. But Brian, let's talk about, since you're on the show first time, introduce yourself to the Hire It Done audience. Tell everyone how long you've been doing this and the best stuff about you.
Okay. I'm Brian Lee with Metro Home Improvement. I'm the founder and owner of Metro Home Improvement. I've been in the home improvement building space for the past 41 years. I started out as a young whippersnapper, and here I am today, an old man still in construction and loving every minute of it. Located in Macomb County, North Macomb County. I'm in Shelby Township, Michigan. We're a design build firm, meaning we pretty much do everything, but we have the capabilities of designing your dream project, an addition or a dormer, kitchen, a bathroom, basement transformation. We do golf sim rooms, we do theater rooms, bars downstairs, crazy stuff. And then we do all the other, other complementary home improvements such as siding, windows, roofing, gutters, everything you can think of home improvement.
So kind of like from A to Z, you can pretty much do most.
Yeah, pretty much like from installing a doorbell to building a brand new house.
But your expertise obviously is all that, but in my experience, if you want the big addition, the big kitchen, the big renovation, the basement, the room, the dormer, you're that guy.
Yes, I am. Yeah, heavy construction.
But you'll also do siding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. So here we are in the fall, and people need to check out their house, do little small fall improvement things. Let's give the listeners some tips on things they can do and what plans they should be making if they want to do a bigger project. But before we do that, I want to let you know you can now text the studio 248-927-85. That's 248-927-1985. If you have a question, text us. We would love to hear from you. If you have any home improvement question, you need a contractor, one that's licensed, insured, pre-screened, we'd love to give you that as well. So Brian, it's fall. And last week we gave a home checklist to do around your house. But now if a homeowner is thinking of doing a kitchen or a side work or something around the house, what's the first couple of things we should tell them to do?
Well, the one thing I tell everybody is people don't plan to fail, they fail to plan. So if you're thinking about doing a kitchen or a bathroom, what I'd like for people to do is, sit down and write out exactly what they think they want. New cabinetry, new countertops. What type of a faucet would you like? What type of a backsplash? Are you looking to change the configuration of the existing kitchen now and open up some walls to achieve that? Those are the items that I tell folks to do. Just planning out a kitchen and saying, hey, I want it done in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Sometimes those expectations fall short. So, figure out what you want to do, write it down, and then give us a call and have us come out and look at the space and see if we can't get you going.
It's actually not a bad idea. So if someone wants to get a hold of you, what's the best, fastest, quickest way?
Well, they can go online to www.metrohomeimprovement.com. They can reach me direct at area code 586-929-0224. I believe we're on the Hire It Done website at www.hireitdone.com as well. And then I guess getting a hold of you.
Yeah, that's an easy way to do it, of course. 248-927-1985 is our text number. We just got one in. Hey, Adam, I can't get my gas fireplace working. Who do I call to relight my pilot light or see if my gas is turned on? So who would you call, a plumber or a heating and cooling contractor?
So I would call an HVAC contractor because they have gas licenses.
Yeah.
And then you have them come out there and take a look at it. A lot of times what happens, believe it or not, is there could be a spider web or something that's built up.
Usually that's the case.
Yeah, and it's got to be cleaned out.
There's also a shutoff valve. There's a key. A lot of people don't realize they have to use that key to open it.
Absolutely. Or the ball cock isn't turned on all the way, so you're not getting the most amount of gas that you probably should get to fire it.
Yeah, it's a very good possibility as well. So, okay. So for the person out there that texted us, we also have, I have a guy who actually does fireplaces, Bulliers.
Oh,
They
yeah,
do
they're great.
fireplace and
Yeah.
barbecues. Yeah. So they have a technician that'll come out there, or Vince Fertacci. He's a fireplace guy as well. So just go to hiredone.com. And if, by the way, if anyone has any questions, they can always text us. Again, 248-927-1985, or visit hiredone.com. The website's full of information. We just launched the new website last week, and we're tweaking it right now. There's always things on it, missing, going back and forth. But we got Brian Lee, Metro Home Improvement, in business over 3 decades. So, Brian, this year, it's been a little bit of a transition. Your rates are still high. Homeowners have been spending money on their houses since COVID.
Right.
What do you see? Do you see a turn or a trend at all? Or as we go into the fall, give us what you think our people should be doing right now, and then let's get into 2026.
I have an eclectic mix of additions that we're doing currently right now. We've got basements we're doing currently right now, but what I'm getting a lot of are bathroom and kitchen remodels. I've done a lot of bathroom remodels. People are gearing up for the holidays. They'd like to have the bathrooms redone for when the family comes over, Thanksgiving. There's a lot of folks that have Halloween parties where they have everybody come over and they pass out candy together, and they like to have a nice bathroom for family and friends to use. And then obviously going into the December month, we have Christmas and the New Year's, and everybody wants to get that stuff done. So I've got a lot of bathroom requests.
Oh, that helps. That helps a lot. So let's go through a 3-piece bath. Average 3-piece bath. It's got, let's go with a family house. So they have 2 vanities or double sink.
Sure.
A tub with a shower.
Sure.
And a toilet.
Right.
Standard 5x8 bathroom.
Okay.
I've, gut it to the studs, keep everything in the same location, and renovate. What are we talking price-wise today?
Anywhere, just a ballpark figure, depending on budgets and the tile and the selections that are made, anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000.
Okay, so
I know it's a large spectrum, but it's all budget driven as well.
It is, but no. So you can get a decent bath for $15,000.
Yeah, we call it a starter or an entry.
It used to be $5,500 to $7,500 was a great bathroom.
Yeah, that was 30 years ago, Adam. You got to quit living in the past.
30 years ago, maybe it was. Anyways, okay, so 15,000. I did. Last time I had hair was 1984. 248-927-1985. We've got Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement Studio. So Brian, we got $15,000 to get a basic bathroom done. I have to tell you, what with the way things are today, can you work with a homeowner and they say, I'm going to go buy the toilet and the tub, and you'll, I want to try and save money, but I got a discount. Is there ways you can guide a homeowner when you're doing their bathroom to save them money?
For me, I don't do that. And the reason I don't do that is because, okay, they're going to go to Menards or they're going to go to Home Depot or Lowe's. They're going to purchase a vanity and a top combo. I'm waiting on that. They get it there. I open up the box. It's broken. It's destroyed. Right. I got to go get another one. Then they're upset. They don't want to take it back. They want me to take it back and go get one. It just creates havoc. So I prefer to have them select everything from us because all of our stuff comes with warranties and guarantees. And the only thing that I can guarantee you if you go buy all your other stuff is that I'm not going to warranty it.
Got it. And I wasn't sure. That's the reason why I was asking. Okay, so that's a good thing. But there's other people, people will be like, listen, I was at the place, they had a sale. This is a Kohler faucet and I bought it. If they say to you, yes, Brian, we understand that you're installing it and we're going to pay to install it, but if there's a problem warranty-wise, we'll handle it or we'll take responsibility. Would you work with them that way?
If they want to sign off on it, that's a whole different, that's a whole different item. However, just because it says Kohler doesn't mean it's necessarily a good Kohler. You and I both know that, Kohler makes numerous different models and they make numerous different brands, and that some of them that you get at one place, such as a box store, do not match what you would get at a plumbing wholesale or a retailer.
Okay. And that wasn't, and that's the thing. So do you give an allowance when someone's putting it?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's say tile, because tile is one that originally was the allowance type of situation. What kind of allowance do you give a homeowner based on the $15,000 bathroom?
$5 a square foot is usually generally a good number, $5 to $6. And then we move up from there. That's decent. You want to go a little higher range, you're about $10 a square foot. And then some folks get into glass and they get into some other items, and that takes you around the $18 to $20 range.
Okay, so that's not a bad idea. What if the tile's on sale? It's not a problem.
No, not
What
at
about
all.
if they like pick mosaics and they pick patterns and like a herringbone? That's a little bit more labor, right?
A lot more labor. That's where we get into, like I said, the budgets. Now the project's going to go up exponentially because the labor goes up exponentially.
Okay, well, that's the truth. So let's just say someone's trying to get a big kitchen.
Right.
Here we are, mid-September. Is it fantasy to say, Brian, I want you to do my kitchen and I want to have Thanksgiving dinner in my kitchen this year?
No, not at all. Because we have a cabinet distributorship that we purchased back during COVID because we couldn't get cabinetry. We're looking at 16 to 20 weeks to get cabinets. So we purchased a distributorship, and now I have a wholesale distributorship line on the cabinetry, and I can generally get the cabinets within 5 to 9 days, shipped direct.
Okay, so that's even better.
It's awesome. It puts our timelines back in check.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Okay, so then if anyone out there is really thinking about a kitchen and you want to have Thanksgiving dinner celebrating it, Brian Lee says he can get it done. He can get you a quality custom kitchen. What would be a slowdown in a kitchen?
If I open up walls and I find mold, I open up walls and they're load bearing, but yet there's no cripplers in there holding them up, or I have no jacks in there.
How often do you find that?
Yeah, 1 out of 5.
Oh, you do? Okay. I wasn't sure.
Some people buy houses and they don't know from the previous homeowner what happened. And the previous homeowner, they're a jack of all trades, master of none. And they open up the walls and they don't put them back properly. So when I open them up, they want to know why is things sagging in here. And as soon as I get it open, I find out why it's sagging.
Oh, okay. So you're solution minded. That's one of the things for everyone out there. To find a good contractor, you got to find one that's not going to place blame on anyone, that's going to not do this and that. It's one source of accountability. What you need to do is find one that's solution minded. What does that mean? That means when there's a problem, mold, structural, the contractor doesn't say, uh-oh, we have to stop the job. Everything's in trouble. The sky is falling. It's a contractor who says, Mrs. Jones, we discovered a few items when we did the demo, structural. We can't redo your bathroom until we fix this, but here's what I suggest we do to fix it. It's not difficult. Here's what it costs. We can continue the momentum. Just let us know what you want to do. Is that a great way to say it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. 100%. We don't get into anything until we straighten it out with the homeowner and let them know.
Okay. 248-927-1985 is the text number. If you have a question this morning, you want to text Brian and I, any home improvement question. We just got another one. Says, I want a bathroom in my basement. How complicated is it to plumb a basement versus one above ground? I want to take that question. We're going to discuss it after our break, but as we get into that. But so Brian, busy. A lot of contractors are busy, but I've also noticed that, and you notice this, I've been getting a lot of calls from contractors not busy saying, hey, it's slowing down. I need to get some more business. And there's myriad of ways to advertise your company. There's a myriad of ways to do that kind of thing. And I want to talk about what contractors need to do today and answer that question about the bathroom in a basement. So don't forget, 248-927-1985 is our text number only. Text the studio if you want for Hire It Done. And we're going to take a quick break. My name's Adam Helfman. This is 101.1 WRIF, everything that rocks. Welcome back. This is Adam Helfman from HireItDone.com. We're on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks. Brian Lee in studio back with me. Welcome back, Brian.
Thank you for having me. Great to be back.
So, Brian, real quick, we got a text message. And by the way, if you have a question this morning, you text us. We have our new text line, 248-927-1985. Text the studio. We can answer any questions you might have. It says, Brian, I want a bathroom in my basement. How complicated is it to plumb a basement bathroom versus one above ground?
Not complicated at all. Your main drain lines are in your basement. Those have to run upstairs. We have to break open the floor to tie into the main drains. Your water lines are above us, where we have to run, where the waters run through the floor joists to get water up the upstairs. So in a lot of cases, it's easier to do a basement than it is to do a first or a second floor because we don't have to cannibalize anything. We just got to break open the floor.
Okay, so let me ask you this. A lot of people have bought houses in the past from like a Pulte Homes or one of the big builders in town.
Sure.
And they have holes in the concrete, and it was the wink, wink. It's pre-plumbed for a bathroom in the basement. Some homeowners think, well, I don't want to put a bathroom there. It's okay. They could break that out, and they can change the location anywhere they want, right?
Absolutely. They don't want to put a bathroom in the basement, and those items are there. I suggest not getting rid of them, because the house, that's a selling feature to the new person who's purchasing it, that it's already pre-plumbed.
But you could cover it up too if you wanted.
You can, yeah.
Okay. What about where, like in my house, although I have a finished basement already, I don't have a bathroom in my basement, but I want to put one. Here's the problem. I have a septic field, and my septic or sewer line coming out of my house is 3 feet above the floor, going out the wall. So if I put a basement, my bathroom toilet and the drains are 3 feet lower than the sump pump, or from the sewer line. How do I get the poop, grind it up, and push it out?
You'd have to put in a sewage ejection pump.
Is that difficult? Is it
not at all? No. If you have a good experienced plumber, they know everything about them. You break the floor open and you tie the sewage ejection pump in there, so everything that goes into there, it grinds it, and then it ejects it, pushes it out to the tank and then to the field.
Okay, so yeah, I it's funny. I actually remember doing a bathroom where it was called like a macerator, it was like a Vitamix for poop.
Yeah,
Vitamix for poop. So anyways,
the immersion blender,
right? But it works. I mean, that's the way it's got to be. So, so Brian, if that's the case, is it more money to do a basement bathroom because you have to break the concrete? There's a little bit more, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit more, but in the long run, you're creating a bathroom. Bathrooms add intrinsic value that's unbelievable to a home. Yeah,
and that's the other thing is, by the way, if you're a plumber, if anyone knows a plumber, Hire It Done is adding new contractors for 2026 and also this fall if you want. But you got to be in business 5 years. You got to be licensed. You got to be insured. You got to submit to a background check from us. And if you're looking to grow your business, we'd like to talk to you. Brian, is that okay for me to ask it that way? You've been in with me quite a while now.
Absolutely.
You want to give your thoughts of what Hire It Done's all about?
I mean, Hire It Done has propelled us from an area where we were doing a certain number over a lot of years, advertising extremely heavy through, we did all the home shows and we did all the handouts and, we did the marketing campaigns and we did the mailers and all that. And we were just stagnated.
Yeah.
And then once we became Hire It Done Contractor, we grew exponentially. I mean, our numbers doubled.
Well, that's nice to know. So again, we're looking for solution-minded contractors. If you know what that means, folks, if there's a problem, you solve it. You don't go to the homeowner and say, oh, the sky is falling. You don't go to the homeowner at the end of the job and say, you owe me 10 more thousand, and they didn't know the whole time. The key to successful home improvement is communication. Would you agree, Brian?
100%.
That's what I want to make sure, because I don't know if people know or not, they see somebody, they want to do something, and again, isn't it in a remodeling job, kitchen, bathroom addition, basically it's like a marriage.
It is. And the one thing people don't understand is they watch a lot of HGTV and things don't happen in 32 minutes like they want them to.
Correct.
Those projects are weeks and weeks and weeks. As you had a guest on a few weeks ago with the rehabs, and she was explaining, I think, the same
Nicole
thing.
Curtis. She's from Rehab Addict.
Yeah, she was explaining the same thing. It doesn't happen overnight. What I was always taught was remodeling and rehabbing is the hardest part of construction because we don't know what we're getting ourselves into. We can only see what we're looking at from the top side. When we tear it apart, there could be a whole host of problems.
Yeah. And by the way, that's the situation. You need someone who's experienced to do that. Now, let's assume you have a homeowner. Let's use a person that has a garage. They want to tear it down and put a 3-car garage. And you go to the city to make the plans, and you're within all the codes, and you still get trouble. How does that happen?
That's a competence on the city's part. The city, obviously, the right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. When you submit blueprints and you submit the specifications and you submit everything in writing and you get your plot plans and you lay everything out, and then they come back, 6 weeks later with a question, and you answer it and you're hoping to get a permit, and then they come back another 6 weeks later with another thing, and it's like they're not on the same page.
Okay, that's the thing. So you have to navigate through that. Now, let me ask you. It costs money for you to go to the city 3, 4, 5 times, changing the plans, communicating, going on an evening to sit in front of a city council, waiting for them to do something. And then 30 days later, the next thing, there's nothing done. And homeowners frustrating. And it becomes like a scapegoat. Someone's looking to blame somebody.
Right.
And it becomes very stressful. Do you charge for your time on that? Or what? How does that work?
That's a delicate tightrope that you have to walk there. Right. So, yes, we do. However, it's, we don't have to kill bear to eat, so to speak.
Correct.
Get our costs covered, just what our costs are. We don't charge overhead and profit on that, just what our dead nuts costs are going to be. There is a lot of time involved in it. I've walked that tightrope for the past 12 months with a project. But we have persevered, and it looks like we are coming out on the right end of this.
Which is what we want.
Right.
So
it goes back to solution mindedness that you say.
Well, that's why I was thinking, because a lot of times people just don't realize. And if you have a fight with your contractor today, it's a lot worse than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, because right away the homeowner's like, oh, I'm calling the Hall of Shame. I'm calling this one. I'm calling that one. Or I'm calling Roof to the Rescue. I'm calling my attorney, or I'm going online and I'm going to start telling people, don't use this guy. People are like keyboard gangsters.
Absolutely. And all of those items that you mentioned don't get to the root cause and don't fix the problem. All it does is exasperate the whole entire thing, and it creates nothing but animosity and havoc. So you're going to get two people who are going to dig their feet in the sand, and they're going to go at it. And at the end of the day, the only ones who make out are the attorneys, and the homeowner still doesn't get satisfaction, and they don't get anything out of it. It's better just to sit down and communicate it out and work it out and push forward.
Okay, well, and by the way, you're speaking my language, and there's not a lot of contractors out there. Every contractor that is good that I like, it's a handful. But at the same time, even the best contractors make mistakes. It's the ones that say, and I say it again, and I'm going to beat this to death here, solution minded. Mrs. Jones, yeah, you know what? We didn't do the best job on this. I'm going to have it redone.
Correct.
Or this is the reason why we had to do this. And this is the solution we need. And this is how we can move forward. A lot of times homeowners are just like, oh my God, he's scamming me. He's this, he's that, but we know that that's not the case.
I can give you a scenario where I had a homeowner order some cabinetry from us, and they told us the color that they wanted, and we gave them all the samples. They had the samples, and they gave us the samples back and said, this is the color we want. I placed the order, and the order was about, I don't know, $7,000 or $8,000 in cabinetry, I want to say. And we place the order, we get it there. We've got the job torn out. Now we're getting ready to put the cabinetry in. Oh no, that's the wrong color. I revert back to the text messages. I revert back to the emails. No, that's the color you said you wanted. Then the next thing I get is a photograph of the cabinet door with a totally different color on it.
Oh.
And I'm like, well, you didn't send that over to us. Well, I kept the sample to make sure that the colors matched when the cabinets came in. I said, but you told us what color you wanted, and that's not the color. If you flip the door over, it says the color on the back of it. Yeah. And they never communicated that. So would that be my fault? I'm just asking a question. Would that be my fault?
I would say no, technically, if you get really down to it, but you could triple confirm with a homeowner and still make mistakes.
So I accepted it, right? So instead of waiting 2 weeks to get the cabinetry, because it was during COVID, right? Because at COVID, the shipping times were extended. So what we did is I physically got in my vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
I drove 13 and a half hours to the factory, and I picked up a brand new entire cabinet order. I took back the ones that we had from there, loaded them up, drove 13 and a half hours there, and drove 13 and a half hours back to Michigan, and did a 2-dayer flip and turn and burn to make sure that we had the
so
right.
Did the homeowner appreciate that?
Not at all.
Okay. And that's what I was saying. So you're doing it because you're doing the right thing.
Correct.
I can't imagine the cost of 13 and a half hours, just the gas, the labor to load the truck, to unload, then reload. It's 4 loads.
$1,300. It costs about $1,300. And yet I ate that expense, right? That came out of our profit and overhead, right?
Now, does it make sense to say, Mrs. Jones, and this is Mrs. Jones, the fictitious customer, obviously. Mrs. Jones, I'm sorry that we had a mishap on the cabinets. Here's what I'm doing for you. And I apologize again, but I want to let you know this is costing me X, 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 and X. So not asking you to pay, but I just want to make it clear. And we do have a little bit of a slowdown on the job because I have to do the swap.
I did it over the course of, I left on Thursday and got back on Saturday, so I could make the swap because the factory shut down Saturday at, I think 1:00. They shut down for the weekend. They're off on Sunday. So 13 and a half hours back, 13 and a half hours there. I mean, it's a long trip.
248-927-1985 is our text number in studio. You have a question, home improvement. Got Brian Lee, my special guest today. He's from Metro Home Improvement. Kitchens, baths, room additions, dormers, big jobs from new custom homes to doorbells. I like that, actually. It stuck with me.
I mean, I've had older folks call up and say, hey, my doorbell quit working. Could you fix it for me? What am I going to say? No.
Well,
come on. I'm going to go out there and we're going to fix the doorbell.
I get it. I got a call yesterday for a roof in Eaton Rapids. And it was funny. The reason why I'm saying it is because the lady had a clay tile roof. She went online, typed in clay tile roof, or typed in roof repair or something, and found my podcast, and then started going backtracking and saying, hey, can you help me? And of course, we have roofers around the country, and we have roofers in Metro Detroit that I have some that go to Eaton Rapids. But I was just curious, Brian, you and I have been getting a lot of traction on our podcast / videos. Is that the new way of getting business for contractors? Because you seem to be ahead of the curve.
For me, it has been. I can only speak for myself, but I've been blessed with the fact that producing the podcast has gotten out there, and then it's gained a lot of traction where people will Google and then it'll pull up my podcast videos, and then they will watch those, and then I will get phone calls back from people saying, hey, I saw your podcast, or I shared it with a friend of mine and they watched it, and man, what great information that you put out there. We'd love to have you come out and give us an estimate.
Do you do any home shows?
I did. Last year I did 4 of them, I believe, and out of all 4 home shows, I think we got a bunch of appointments, but we only were able to set 2 appointments.
I remember we sat with one together. It's okay, because what we're going to do is just the fall home improvement shows coming up. We're going to be giving away tickets to get there. You'll obviously we'll announce the giveaways, and it's free tickets. All you got to do is text us and like and subscribe to our podcast, but you get free tickets to the home show, novihomeshow.com. But if you have a question today, 248-927-1985, that's the Higher Done Studios. We're live on 101.1 WRIF. If you're in your car, thank you for tuning in. If you need a contractor, higherdone.com. You want to see us in studio, we're on every social media right now live. Subscribe to our podcast if you like this type of information. We appreciate it, of course. Brian, how much when you do work and you run into like a water quality issue, because a lot of times homeowners, water was never a problem. We had copper. Now all of a sudden water pressure and water quality, especially in renovation because of lead paint and lead pipes and everything. Is that become an issue with you?
Yes and no. I mean, if I work in a rural area and they're on a well, yeah, it becomes a problem, because the groundwater gets contaminated. They need to clean the groundwater up because the drinking water obviously comes out of the well. That's really when it becomes an issue.
Will you refer them to Beauchamp Water?
Oh, I have. I've told folks about Beauchamp.
Okay.
Yeah, Jared's a great guy.
I like him. By the way, today's salt sale Saturday.
I think every Saturday is salt sale Saturday. I think everybody should be waiting to go get it on Saturdays and run down there.
Yeah. So Beauchamp Water Treatment, just so we'll get this over. Beauchamp Water Treatment Solutions has water softener salt on sale every Saturday at $6.99 a bag. Beauchamp Water Treatment Solutions. Did you ever take a shower in like conditioned or softened water? It's like softer skin, right?
I was in the water filtration business many eons ago, back in the 90s, and I had a whole house water filtration system on my water. And I'll be honest with you, taking a shower in a purified water is a totally different shower.
Right, your skin feels silky smooth. Absolutely. I don't have hair, so I don't know if I have better, cleaner hair, but I still use shampoo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Why? I don't know why.
You know what? You're a creature of habit. It's just a habit.
He probably buys like $85 shampoo too.
Gucci shampoo.
Let me just say this, fellas. If you saw my manly, masculine list of pheromone related
I don't even want to know.
Hey now,
Sex Panther.
right? But if you want clean water,
100% of the time it works 60%, or 60% of the time it works 100%.
yeah, we're on the riff. We can talk that way. Yeah. But Beauchamp Water, 810-632-2000 if you want to get water softener salt on sale. Jared's, the king of water. I've nicknamed him
Absolutely.
that, right?
Oh,
Which is fun.
You never want to get into a debate with that guy over water.
No, listen, if you want clean water in your house, forget about the filters that you buy and all that. That's temporary. He puts the real deal in. I just had my ice maker break on my Sub-Zero. And everyone says, because I have this Sub-Zero refrigerator that I love, but they're expensive, right? And it's old, but it's a battleship. The guy who came to replace it or repair it, he says to me, Adam, don't ever get rid of this until it blows out. I go, why? He goes, they don't make them like this anymore. So I had to buy a new ice maker, right? The ice maker had stopped producing ice. Something went bad on it, whatever, right? $1,200. I could have bought a refrigerator, right? He's like, don't. So I made sure that the water coming to the refrigerator was coming out of my reverse osmosis. The ice, it's so good.
Is it crystal? Like you don't see cloudiness and
yeah, it's crystal clear. They're the best
right.
ice. And the new the Sub-Zero ice maker has different shaped ice than it used to be. They're like little half moons. It's kind of cool, and they're clear.
Adam, I'm surprised that you don't have the ice maker that makes the round circumference ball that comes out that you throw into a old fashioned.
Well, I do have the smoker, the round balls, and you know what? I just decided anyone who drinks that is gross.
I don't know. I will disagree with you on the old.
Are you an old-fashioned drinker?
I like one or two here and there.
Here's what I like: a Diet Coke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like Diet Coke as well.
Yeah. Hey, whatever it is, it is. You know how that goes. So, Brian, if someone wants to do a big kitchen or a room addition with a kitchen, they're going to add square footage and they want to do a kitchen. When you first meet with them, and they say, well, we want to make sure we get our money back. It's like an investment. What kind of conversation are you going to have with a homeowner when we talk that way?
So the dollars have to make sense. And that's what I tell everybody. So what I want is a wish list or a dream list. I want to sit down and find out what the project's going to entail. Then from that point, I ask them, what is their goals and plans for living in the home? How long do you plan on staying in the home? Do you see yourself being a forever home? Are you planning on moving in X amount of years? The reason being is anybody can sell you a room addition, right? There's not many guys that can do them, but they can sell them, right? But what I'm looking at is I'm looking on the repayment, right? So what are you going to get? What's your rate of return going to get? So right now it averages about 7.2 years for you to recoup your money on a room addition. So if you're planning on putting a room addition on, excuse me, and you're leaving in 3 years, just know that the 3 years you're going to enjoy it and you're not going to get all of your money back. You're going to recoup about 60%. That's it.
Okay. Because
of the rate of inflation right now, currently the rate of inflation that we have doesn't justify the means of how much it's going to cost. So you're not going to get all the money back. However, coupled with a kitchen, then that's a home run. Kitchens and baths are the showstoppers.
Okay, and that's where you get the better return. My question though is, move or improve, right? Homeowners like, listen, we want to do this, but maybe it's better we move. Obviously, you're going to be it's like a debate. I'm gonna debate you, Mrs. Homeowner, and say why you should stay, and then a new builder will be like, oh, this is why you should move, right? But people don't factor in the cost of moving.
So the cost of moving is unbelievable, and then you also have to look at, do you have children? If you have children, unless you're moving within the same school district and you're moving close in the proximity there, and you're driving your children to school or you're dropping them off, you got to figure that time in. Then a lot of items that you don't figure on a new build, which is going to be landscaping. You got to have landscaping. Then you have to have your outside
so there's a lot
water.
Of
work. You got to have your sprinkler systems. Your that's the thing. And then you have other items. You got the move costs. You got the settling in. You're going to buy new drapes. You're going to buy new blinds. I mean, the cost is crazy.
It is expensive. 248-927-1985. Again, 248-927-1985. That's the text number for the Hire It Done studios. If you have a question this morning, I've got Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement in studio. We're talking everything design, build, and home improvement. So the bigger projects again, because I like talking about those. If someone wants to do the big addition, they should start now. And
right.
So how long does it take between your first meeting with the homeowner to when the shovel's in the ground to do the footings?
That's all dependent on the cities and how fast they get to
On an
getting
average, let's
permits.
just say if the city works with
Right
it.
now, I've got one that's taken 12 weeks.
It's unbelievable.
It is 100%.
We're almost on a year with another one.
Right. 12 weeks on one. I've got another one that's taken 9 weeks to get back. And that's because the city just, they shuffle paper is what I'm going to say to you. They're not real efficient, so they want the permit fees and they want the money, but yeah, it takes them a while to get to that point to give you a permit.
Yeah. And that's what I figured as much. So, but you hold the homeowner's hand and you're like the person who takes it right to completion.
Try the emails and the text messages I get going, hey, what's going on with my project?
Yeah.
It's not us. We want to build. I mean, we don't make money unless we're building, right?
Well, that's the key. Yeah. If you don't have guys showing up, swinging hammers and doing stuff,
absolutely,
you're not sitting at home. And that's another thing. You need to find a contractor that's going to be proactive, folks, and know that. And it might be one of the questions you might want to ask if you're interviewing contractors for a bigger project. What happens when the city slows us down? How are you going to help us? And how are you going to do things like that? There's no reason why a homeowner shouldn't, understand that.
No, not at all. And a lot of things you get asked from homeowners are, what are my timelines? I said, I can't give you a timeline because I don't know how long it's going to take to get plans approved.
Now, what about doing plans? You got local? Do you have architects, or do you do a designer?
I do
in Michigan.
I'm one of the only guys that still do my own drawings. I draw them at the table, floor plans and elevations, to be able to give to the architect to draw blueprints. Makes sense.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Don't forget, text us in studio 248-927-1985. Again, 248-927-1985 is the text number for the Hire It Done studio. When we come back, Brian Lee are going to talk about 2026. What are going to be the prediction of the top colors, top projects, and everything that you think around the house should be? Plus, I want to talk interest rates. My name's Adam Helfman. This is Hire It Done on 101 WRIF, everything that rocks. Welcome back. This is Hire It Done. My name's Adam Helfman. In studio with me is Brian Lee, Metro Home Improvement. Welcome back, Brian.
Thanks for having me back.
Good show so far, isn't it?
Awesome.
What do you think about this on WRIF?
I love it. I've been a long time WRIF listener.
Everything that right?
I know.
We're going to rock out home improvement. That's what we're doing. So, Brian, coming into the end of the year, interest rates haven't been down. I'm expecting them to do. Like, people start to refinance, they take the money and start staying on their home. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, from the indicator we're seeing that we're plugged in with, they're seeing that they're coming down slightly, and that the first quarter of 2026 is really when we're going to see a drop. They're telling us to gear up, that we're probably going to be busy starting the first quarter of 2026. So, we're making moves right now to position ourselves to be able to take advantage of that.
Okay, that makes sense. Next year, you've noticed that a trend towards this year. It's starting. It's always been a trend, but you see an uptick. Are you going to see this continue for people who want to do new kitchens and bathrooms in 2026?
No, I think we're really gonna hit that nail pretty hard this year. I think there's gonna be a lot of kitchen and bathroom stuff with what I'm seeing. Also, the NKBA, the shows that they have over the winter time, they start seeing all the new products and the latest things, and they just they want them. That's gonna spark new growth and interest.
Okay, and that always helps. So, is there any trends like the shaker white cabinet was super popular, and then people started taking the island and using a different species or doing gray, but the shaker cabinet is still popular.
Yeah, it's popular. What I'm starting to see now is that some of the cooler colors are starting to, for lack of better terms, cool off. Some of the warmer tones are starting to come back now, which are the tans are starting to make their way back into being popular and favorable again.
Imagine back in the day, it was always
yeah,
and then maple came out, and then it was like frosted maple,
right?
And then remember that Avila?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so funny. And then there was the white cabinet that everyone wanted. And then it evolved. Yep, exactly. Well, what about the one with the potato piece? Never was full on it.
Yeah, those were they tried to transition to a traditional style cabinet, go a little bit more European, and people just weren't biting.
Were they? I didn't think so. So what do you think? You're saying that woods, their natural woods are coming back.
Right, they are.
So let me ask you this: why haven't they? You know how you see flooring, spruce flooring, then we have laminate, LVP, luxury vinyl tile. Those have really taken the market up. And even hardwood flooring, they have the engineered where it's thinner hardwood on the top and then the engineering underneath it. I have yet to see that being applied to cabinets. I'm sure somebody's tried it because when you look at like the luxury vinyl tile, they use a high definition picture, 1080p or whatever, and they ingrain it into this composite. And then when they put it down, it's brand new wood.
Right.
Why haven't they done that with cabinets, or have they yet?
They have. They've done it. It was an experiment that didn't go well. Like LVP luxury vinyl planking,
Yeah.
with the heavy variegation, which makes it look like real wood that has
Yeah.
the grains in it, like you're talking about. That's really taken off like a rocket and silver.
They can't do that on a cabinet door?
It's very thin. So, to have a cabinet door that's 5/8 or a half
They
inch
build
thick.
it up like they build the
Right.
engineered
Yeah. But now you have rounded edges and you have to figure that out. And then that becomes a thermofoil issue where thermofoil is a product that's applied over it and you actually heat it and it kind of, for lack of better terms, welds or molds to the door. Um, we are seeing grains in the doors that are matching the floor,
Right.
right? Even if you're looking at a 5-piece door like you were mentioning, right? The center panel would have that door, and then the outside style wheels are different. So we're starting to see a little bit of transition to that. But the LVP is where it's at. Waterproof. You can throw stuff in the ocean and pull it out as dry as a bone. You can throw it on the floor within 15 minutes.
There you have it. I wasn't sure how that was working or what.
Oh, it's great. It's great stuff. Fantastic. It has such a heavy wear layer on it. It's unreal.
Which is important, obviously. But I actually think if that comes out and it's something that we like, let's say for cabinets, I would wait. It's kind of like Trex decking. Trex is the best decking right now. If it's installed wrong, you ruined it. But 20 years ago, when you put Trex in, oh my God, I can't begin to tell you. I see how it looks.
Trex was the pioneer. We use TimberTech. We like TimberTech better. There's so many more differences between TimberTech and Trex. I've used Trex 100%, and a lot of folks saw Trex because it was in the box stores.
I like Trex, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a composite material. I mean, it's great, but there's a lot of things that you have to take into consideration as well. I've seen a lot of guys install it, and they installed over a 16-inch joist cavity, so the spacing is 16 inches, and then you get some warpage with it. You should really install 12 inches or less.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's a product that is a composite, and when the sun's out and it beats on it, heats up, and then it will expand and contract.
Okay. Well, again, I'm glad you're in the field using it.
Right.
I know Trex and I know TimberTech, both very, very good.
Yep.
You take the top of the line Trex, top of the line TimberTech, and it becomes whatever. It's more like homeowner says, I want that color, and TimberTech doesn't have it, I'm going to go with Trex. But if they like a TimberTech color and they were thinking about Trex, they could go with TimberTech.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because we have a contractor who does a huge amount of decks, Koi Construction.
Sure.
Great guys. If you're planning a deck, give them a call, guys. Go to Hire Done and talk to Koi. They're great. And you can get what you need. But again, technology, that's what we're talking about. What about the future of like additions or dormers? Is 2x4 wood still the way to go? I mean, I haven't seen.
You're marrying up to an existing house that has 2x4s, so it creates challenges on the insulation side because we have to maintain the R values that are in place. More and more now we're using 2x6 on our builds on the walls, right? So we can get that R21 on the walls with the insulation. But, if I'm using a 2x4, I have to pad the walls out with, 3/4 inch polar foam insulation. I got to use a 7/16 OSB, which is a ply. I've got to tape the seams with the house wrap. I use a house wrap on the exterior to make it airproof and waterproof. And, I've got to build it up to be able to get or meet the current R values.
Speaking of R values, how in tuned are homeowners into saving energy? Are they like looking to cut back on their energy bills, or is it more that it's just an insignificant part of it? Because I'm all about being green.
I think that if a contractor were to legitimately sit down and come up with a home energy savings program based on items that homeowners need, not want, they could probably carve out a niche right there. because there's so many things that people don't think about. Air infiltration around the outsides of doors, air infiltration around the outside of windows, sealing up overhangs, areas that,
Bond plate.
yeah, the bottom plate, sealing up overhangs, tuck pointing brick. Believe it or not, air and water get inside those cracks, and they create havoc.
I had it happen in my house.
Yeah,
believe it or not, which was a disaster.
Making
but I got
sure
it
your
fixed.
gutters are tuned up.
Yeah, for sure. Get your gutters and do gutter protection if you have leaves or pine needles around your house. We have great gutter people, obviously, and Hire It Done. 248-927-1985. If you have a question, text us. That's the text request line for the Hire It Done Studios. So, Brian, you have your own podcast.
Yes.
It's called On the Level.
Yes, On the Level. It's on YouTube. It's under Metro Home Improvement, and the podcast is named On the Level with Brian Lee.
And tell the audience what you talk about every week.
So we talk about all the latest building trends. We talk about, kitchens and bathrooms. I take them through jobs where they can actually physically see a job being built. I don't know of any other contractor that does what we do. So we take them from start to finish, where we're working on it day one, and then what the finished project looks like when it's all completed. We walk them through actual jobs going on where I've got guys on the job site and they're swinging hammers and running nail guns. You can hear air compressors going.
But I've been on it. I like it, actually. And for everyone out there, for me, because I'm like putting homeowners in front of good contractors, I like to keep my finger on the pulse, okay, of what's going on in our industry. So, Brian, as you can attest, you have invited me to job sites. We've done videos. We've done walkthroughs. We've collaborated on projects together.
Right.
So if anyone out there is thinking of doing any kind of project, visit Hire It Done, call Brian Lee. He'll definitely meet with you right away. And of course, you can always call me and I'll help you, get through the process.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to watch the podcast videos that we do with the jobs or the podcast that you and I have collaborated on, they can go directly to our YouTube channel, which is Metro Home Improvement on YouTube.
Yeah.
And then they can pull us up. And again, you can watch the podcast On the Level. You'll see them. There's about 60 or 65, I think, at this point.
Yeah. And that's a good thing. In fact, Metro Home Improvement, you can go on hireitdone.com, click on Brian's profile there. There's a link to his YouTube. There's a link to his website. And you can call him directly, click to call. If you're thinking about it, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, I see these cycles all the time. Every year there's bad contractors. Every year, you see them on the news. Every year, homeowners call me and say, I wish I knew about you last year. I wish I knew about you now. Now's your chance because deals are good. If you think about a kitchen or a bathroom or a room addition or a dormer or a roof or windows, siding, landscaping, concrete work, basement waterproofing, anything from A to Z, just go to hireitdone.com. And if you don't even see a contractor, that's okay. What you can do is text me or call us. We'll definitely help you out. We'll give you to the right contractors. And that's what we do. We're just a referral source, but we don't send you any unlicensed person. We look for contractors that are solution-minded and we'll take care of you that way. So again, and by the way, for contractors, Brian, you've actually used some Hire It Done contractors. If you're thinking of growing your business this year and next year, visit Hire It Done and get a hold of us. We'd love to talk to you. You use plumbers and you use our guys.
Oh
before.
yeah, I've cross-pollinated, I guess we'll say, with contractors that have been on Hire It Done because guys that I use are extremely busy on other projects, and I need to get something for somebody right away. And I'll say, hey, do you have a plumber? A plumber that's really good that you can trust, and we've used them and we've had tremendous success.
Good luck. Yeah, I know that. We have great gutter guys. You've used our gutter guy, J&A gutters.
Jacob's a good kid.
Yeah, so we have good things going on. Things are great. Again, every Saturday here on WRIF 101.1. Again, it's the best way if you want to promote your business, obviously. But for homeowners who are listening, finding the right contractor is not easy. It's never been easy. That's why we feature companies like Metro Home Improvement, because I already know that when you call them, you're going to get great quality, great service, and you're going to be happy and think that. And the other thing is for people who are listening right now in the car, we do this show simultaneously broadcast on WRIF 101.1, but you can watch us on YouTube, Hire It Done, on Facebook, Hire It Done, Instagram, Hire It Done, and in LinkedIn, all the social medias, you can watch us live. And then if you're driving and you didn't have time, always go back to YouTube because the Hire It Done show is always there. And then there's other videos that you'll be able to watch. One being Brian Lee from Metro Home Improvement. Him and I have done many, many good ones together. Brian, as we wrap up, what kind of advice, if a homeowner's thinking of remodeling, what kind of advice can you give them to make sure that they if it's not you, what questions should they ask contractors?
Well, first and foremost, once you get past the credentials, licensed, insured, however, you're going to ask those questions and you feel comfortable with that answer. The next one is what type of a material are you going to install at my house? What type of materials do you guys feel confident in? What are your warranties? Do you have a guarantee? Is it just a Michigan standard, or do you go beyond that? Are your guys all experienced, people that you use? Do you subcontract a lot of your guys out? So subcontracting is not a dirty word. It's just, are you just going to the phone book and calling Billy Joe Jim Bob's Plumbing today? Or do you actually have a plumber that you work with hand in hand consecutively on numerous projects? All those items come into play. Yeah, because the last thing you want is the Craigslist killers in your house working on your bathroom or your kitchen, right?
If you ever Google handyman and look under news, you would die if you saw the craziness that they had there. So Brian, give everyone quickly the phone number to get a hold of you.
Yeah, so if they're interested in getting a quote from us, my number is area code 586-929-0224. That's me direct. You can reach me at www.metrohomeimprovement.com. Again, they can go to the Hire It Done website. And last but not least, if you want to see jobs going on, our YouTube page is Metro Home Improvement. And the show is On the Level with Brian Lee.
Also, if you guys want to continue the conversation, just go to Facebook Live because Brian and I are going to stay live on our social medias because I have a lot more to talk to you about.
Absolutely.
We'll get that for our links. But I want to thank everyone for tuning in today. Every Saturday from 8 o'clock in the morning to 9 a.m. On 101.1 WRIF. We're going to be here live. You can always find us on all the social medias, hireitdone.com. My name's Adam Helfman. I want to thank you for tuning in, and we will see you all next Saturday. And Brian and I are going to continue on here and Hire It Done on Facebook Live. So, are we off the air over there? Okay, good. All right. So now we're live on Facebook and all the social medias.
Thank you, Ricky.
So we go direct to that now?
So yeah, now we're live on Facebook and everything else. Of course, people are listening. I'm getting texts. Anyways, I did, yes. So Brian Lee, welcome back to this in the podcast studio. Obviously, let's go through questions homeowners should ask contractors because it literally is a good tip. And Roberto, we can use this for social media as well. I mean, for reels if you want. So we had talked about in the first meeting, homeowners, the assumption is everyone's licensed and insured.
Correct.
Because everyone says it in their contract. Everyone says it in their ads and all that. Should a homeowner outside of Hire It Done verify if they're licensed and insured?
Yes, 100%.
Okay, so let's say there's ABC Roof Company or ABC Kitchen Company, and the homeowner, and it says in their ads, licensed and insured, and then the homeowner looks and it says some guy's name that's not ABC, contracting. What does that mean?
Well, it means one of two things. Either A, he is lying, or B, there is a outside qualifying officer that's not listed on the company, and it's under something else. He could be having somebody pull permits for him.
Okay, so technically not illegal.
No, it's not illegal. But it's just a little immoral.
Right. And then when
unethical.
homeowners pay for the project, shouldn't they be paying the contractor that's doing the work?
Yeah, they should be paying.
Not the subs, but like I'm saying,
Yeah.
if the license is under ABC Contractor, but they're contracting for Mr. ABC or Mr. XYZ Contractor, and Mr. XYZ Contractor is using ABC's license, shouldn't they be paying ABC or not technically?
It's a very gray area. It's an extremely gray area. That was one that was probably about one step above my pay grade. However, let's just say you hire Bill.
Yeah.
And James is pulling permits for Bill.
Right.
Okay. But Bill is there. Bill's running the job. Bill's people are building the job out. And they are the ones that are on site every day. Well, you wouldn't go and call James and say, hey, man, I'm going to pay you.
Right.
You would call Bill and say, Bill, I'm going to pay you because your folks have been here every day and they're the ones that have performed the work. However, what you would want is you would want James, the license holder, to sign off at the end of the job stating everything's been paid and the job has been completed and you're satisfied with it, and therefore they have no recourse to come back after you. Somebody saying, hey,
Now, what
I haven't
about
paid.
companies that send salespeople out to the house? Do the salespeople need to be licensed as salespeople, or if they have their own builder's license, does that
The
help?
licensing and regulatory authority in the state of Michigan states clearly in their handbook that you can only work for one builder at a time. That builder must be licensed as a residential builder or a maintenance and alteration contractor in the field that they are working in. And anyone representing that company or any of their entities also must have a license as a salesperson to be able to write a contract and represent that company in the home.
Okay. And that person has to be working for that licensed company.
Yes, and the salesperson can only work for one licensed residential builder at a time. And that license has to reflect that they're working for that builder.
And they have to be employed or 1099 or doesn't really
They
have.
can subcontract to them. And that, again, that's another gray area, but can be subcontractors as they're going to go out and they're going to work on behalf of the builder and themselves. So they're representing that builder and themselves.
And that's basically what I was thinking as well. It makes it right. Okay, so that's the thing. Now, let me give some advice. You tell me if the advice I'm giving for homeowners is good. All right, so I'm the homeowner. Brian, I watched Hire It Done. I've seen it. Adam told me to have you in your proposal after you gave me the estimate to write it like a story, a beginning, a middle, and end. And that way, from the beginning, meaning plans, permits, demo, middle, rough inspections, and then finishes, right? And then he said, Adam told me to give you back the proposal after you've done that and say, hey, Brian, thank you. This is great. However, can you also include what's not included in the proposal? Because a lot of times contractors who like design build ones like I used to, we didn't paint. We had the homeowner do their own painting. We'd take the job right. Our completion was drywall finish, right? Ready for paint. And a lot of homeowners were like, I just want you to paint it. We would do that, but it would stop at paint. So we would put items excluded from this project, painting, X amount of something over 3 dumpsters or whatever. Is that wrong for me to tell homeowners to ask you to put what's not included? Because I have a reason why I do that, but tell me what your thoughts are.
So we're old school and doing this as long as we've done it. We were trained. I was trained 40 years ago. So when I write a contract, the number one line says work to be done at following address. And then I start building the job. It's a la carte. I'm going to call it the sign of the beef carver. You walk in the door, you grab a tray, and what's the first thing you pick up? A salad, or you want a shrimp cocktail or soup? And then the next line is pick your protein. And then after that, it's your vegetable and all the way down the line, right? So I write the whole entire contract down.
You missed dessert.
No, dessert. I don't do dessert.
Banana cream pie.
Oh, I got
sign of the beef cover.
Listen, I like I tell everybody, if you're looking for a sugar daddy, I got type 2 diabetes. I can't have that. Right? So
Ozempic.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I write everything down 100%, and then I get to the bottom and I say homeowner to do, and this is what we were always taught back in the day. Homeowner to do: paint, stain, decorate, carpet, and tile. Right? Because a lot of people back then used VA tile.
Yeah, right. And they can do it right.
And they can do what they wanted to. So now what I do is in all of them, I write down, okay, Metro to paint using Sherwin-Williams paint, color to be determined by homeowner.
Selection later date, right?
Right. And they make the selection. So I give them all of that in the contract. So like doing a bathroom normally is not a 20-line item. It's like a 28-line item. And I have to write it in multiple contracts with a payment schedule, because we just don't take money and say, see you later. We write out a payment schedule where we hit benchmarks, and every time we hit a benchmark, we get a payment.
Let's go through a sample payment schedule for everyone out there really quick. Let's use the $15,000 bathroom.
Right.
Okay. Now, for everyone out there, remind yourself this, and I always try to remind contractors and homeowners this, that when you do a business with a homeowner, when a contractor and a homeowner do business together, the contractor is not the bank. It doesn't say Bank of Metro Home Improvement, the Bank of Brian Lee Savings and Loan. So he's building the job off of your money. unless you make upfront arrangements with the contractor, he's expecting you to give him the deposit. He's expecting you to pay him on the following payment schedules. And if you say, well, oh, shoot, I have to go get my home improvement loan, or I have to apply for the next draw, the draw takes 2 weeks. You're not going to finish the job, and all of a sudden the bank says, oh, by the way, your credit score changed because you went and maxed out your credit cards on something else, and now we can't give you the rest of this loan. So, Brian, you help, though, in a homeowner in the beginning with if there's bank financing.
We do. Absolutely. So we get all that worked out first. Once they have their funds and they know that they have their funds, then we set up a draw schedule. So the first payment is their largest payment they're going to make because we have to order materials and we have to get them shipped to the job.
Correct.
So on a bathroom, medicine cabinets. Now we've got these lighted medicine cabinets, very expensive. I've got the shower valve, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that diverter. We call it the diverter. It's either a shower and a bath diverter where there's a tub involved, or it's a shower valve because it's just a shower. I have grab bars. I have to order those. I order the faucet for the sink. I order the stone.
And that's initially,
cabinet,
right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate. Then you have to think of items like this. I'm going to tear it out, but I'm going to have Durarock. I'm going to have glue. I'm going to have thin set. I'm going to have grout. I'm going to have Schluter. I'm going to have the tile. I'm going to have soap dishes, niches.
So there's a lot. You're just
lot.
overwhelming
Tile.
with a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So if $15,000 bathroom, homeowner, what's the required deposit you give them?
So generally what we take is 40% down.
Okay, so
and that orders
$6,000.
all the material.
15%, $15,000 at a 40% and $6,000 deposit. Okay, that allows you to get the plans, the permit, and order the materials.
All the materials. Yep.
Okay, so but people need to understand that that's not the cost of the materials, because in a bathroom job like that, those all cost more than that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So because sometimes homeowners are like, oh my God, you're that's what it costs. You're making so much money on me. They don't realize that this is just the payment schedule. So now $6,000 down.
Yes.
Permit's ready. You get a start date. You're starting Monday, September 15th or whatever. When's the next payment due?
So once we have the items that we pre-deliver, as well as have the dumpster on site, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our crews get started. Upon tear out, they get there, they start tearing it out, they get it all torn out, they get everything cleaned up and ready to roll. Okay. So the next payment due would be 30%. And that's upon roughing of the shower valve.
Yep.
That's upon installation of the Durarock. That's upon installation of the rubber liner for the shower pan and pouring the pan, right?
Yep.
So I make it upon the start of all those items because my guys are on site and they're actually physically working.
Right.
Right. So that's when we would get the next payment. And
Okay.
that's to keep the guys going and to make the payments to all my guys.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. We have in the past, not having the past, homeowners are always in the back of their head thinking, when I write this check, is he going to even show up again? Is he going to take off? Is he going to leave? We have that fear. And that's what Hired Done does so well, is we alleviate that fear or allay the fear so that homeowners don't have to worry, because they know when I refer a contractor, you're not going to take off with their deposit, but they still are leery when they write those checks.
So,
am I right?
Yes. For me, it's totally different. Then I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to say this with all due respect. I say to the homeowner, do you think that I would jeopardize my builder's license and my livelihood and all the folks who work for me for $6,000? Number one. Number two, we're endorsed. And you come to the jobs. We're on the Hired Done website. We're on Hired Done. Here we are today on the show with you. Secondly, and thirdly, I'm plastered all over the internet. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Instagram. I'm on Facebook. I'm on TikTok. I'm on all those. The last thing that we want is somebody saying, oh, the guy took $6,000 and never showed up at my house. Yeah. That doesn't bode well for business and for building a brand, right?
Of course not.
I mean, unless you're trying to build a criminal record.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful. And that's the thing. But again, hey, there's so many bad people out there. In fact, that's what makes us better. And that's what makes us more popular, because there's still always, every season, every year, there's a contractor who just takes the money. You know what's funny? I see that a lot in the pool business.
Oh, it's horrible in the pool business in Florida. It's horrendous. A pool contractor just got
here in Michigan.
He just got 40 years in prison for $14 million that he took in deposits and never started. The other thing is, and I want to reiterate this as well too. I feel that I'm the only contractor, or one of the only contractors, that physically do this. I take my homeowners shopping.
Yeah,
I meet them at the granite place. I show them our cabinetry. I meet them at the tile place. We pick tile out.
Is it like an afternoon?
Yeah, I carve out a couple of hours and I meet them there and we do selections. And then when we do selections, I put an order together while they're right there in front of me.
Smart.
Now, all the other contractors I know in this business, what
Send
they do
the
is they
homeowner
tell
shopping.
them, go on your own. Yeah, go to Home Depot, go to Lowe's. You can go to
Tile shop.
Tile shop. You can go to Floor and Decor. You know, whatever you pick out, that's fine with me. Just let me know. They don't bother to take the time to go shopping with the homeowner. And then you know what ends up happening is the customer walks in and it's like blind people trying to navigate in a mall. They just can't find what they're looking for. They don't know exactly what they're getting.
You lead, so you lead the conversation. You lead the selection. You say, Mrs. Jones, this is it. And then when they pick something that's like, they walk in, they see this pallet of marble in the floor that's on sale, and it meets the allowance you got. You say to them, look, that's thicker than tile. That needs extra cutting. There's going to be a little bit of an upcharge in the labor because of that. If you want it, but if you want it, we can get it because it's on sale. Yeah.
Yes, but I don't recommend the marble for the bathroom because it's highly porous. It allows soap and water to get inside of it. It's going to be slippery to walk on.
What do you recommend for a tile in a
porcelain?
shower? Porcelain,
100%.
What about the quartz slabs and stuff? Not
Well,
on the floor.
that's for the
Walls?
countertops. I don't really do them on walls as much anymore. You know, a long time ago we had panels on the walls that we did, but we recommend porcelain because it's a very hard, durable product that's going to withstand abuse. It's impervious to soap, scum, and all that because it's a baked fired product and it's sealed. You know, I've had customers walk in, they go, "Oh my God, I love this tile." I go, "Look at it. It's a red Mexican clayback tile. That's $2.29." And I go, "Nope, we won't install it." Why? Well, I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. Number one, because it's kiln fired and the top of it, the solution or the color on the top is highly susceptible to chipping. Number one. Number two, it's very soft. It's a very soft product.
Right.
So because it's clay and it's a red clay or a white clay and it's a ceramic tile, it's a lot thinner. The porous is thicker or the porcelain is thicker.
Okay.
So
what about countertops, porcelain countertops? Can you do those?
You could do a tile porcelain countertop if you want, but I mean in bathrooms, everybody's going to quartz. I mean, even granite is kind of taking a back
quartz is good
seat.
because you can mold it a little bit. You know, you could round the edges, you cut it. There's
everything today with waterfall edges, with drop edges, with undermount sinks, with there's so many different things you can do with quartz, and they just look fantastic.
And that's what we like, as we want that, to be honest. So, okay. So what are some of the headaches doing renovation in the wintertime?
I guess the biggest headache is if we had a lot of snow on the ground, it's, you know, in and out, traipsing in and out of a house, but we lay down floor protection, we lay down plastic, then we put tarps down over the top of it. You know, we try not to keep the doors open so we're not letting the heat escape out the house. You know, we try to be as conscientious of that as we can. I mean, that's kind of like I guess the biggest drawback is if we were working on a house in January or February and it's extremely cold. Other than that, I mean, we work year round.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's what I was going to say. So you can handle any kind of renovation in any type of weather.
Absolutely. I mean, it's one of those things like I tell people this all the time. If you need something and you need it done and you know that it's cold outside, but you need to have it done and you're thinking, hey, I got to put it off. No, you don't. You don't have to put it off. You know, people have holes in the roof. They're like, hey, should I just let this wait till the spring? And I'm like, hey, you're going to have water in your house. You're going to create mold and you're going to create biogrowth and you're going to damage all the drywall in your house and all the heat's going to escape. Would you let it wait or would you just get it done now?
No, you got to get it done now. Why would you wait?
Because
a lot of people wait.
Because there's a lot of misinformation and bad information that people pick up and run with.
Right.
They don't go with the right information. That's why it's imperative that people listen to platforms like this and what you're telling people, because you're telling the right information for them.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. Thank you. And that's our goal, is to help homeowners get the best information with the best contractors. We call it hassle-free home improvement. So, and again, part of what we want to do is to get that done. So you've got that. Homeowners know. We've got all the rest of everything for home improvement. What other items should we discuss with a homeowner to get them prepared for the job? Like they say, how long is the job going to take?
A bathroom traditionally is 7 to 10 days if I run into problems. Sometimes I'm done quicker than that. It's 4 days normally for tear out and tile. That's right off the rip. Then I got to get the cabinet in there. And then you're supposed to typically wait till the cabinet's installed to measure for the countertop and then get the countertop fabricated. There's no fabricators in town that are getting you a countertop in a day or two. If they are giving you that in a day or two, they have no business, and you're getting nothing but garbage seconds, and it's not a good scene. So typically I will say we're 7 to 10 days max. However, I have water up and going in the shower that you can use and grouted and sealed within 4 days. You might not, and I have the toilet set. You might not be able to wash your hands because we're waiting on the sink and faucet to go in. However, I get it done pretty quick, and then my fabricators usually get me tops within 3 days.
Okay, so that's the reality of it. Now, back to when you talked about a roof leak and it was leaking, and you got to do it now. Homeowner has an insurance claim. Okay. A lot of contractors don't understand the insurance repair part of the business, and a lot of homeowners don't realize that the insurance company is going to push back or fight with them or not fight with them, depending on how it is on a claim. One thing that's really, really highly valuable about Metro Home Improvement and yourself is that not only are you an expert in the home improvement business, but when it comes to insurance renovation, restoration, insurance repair, and speaking the language of an insurance company, State Farm, Farm Bureau, AAA, Chubb, Citizen, whatever the company is, when a homeowner says, hey, I had flood, or I had mold, or I have a tree fell in my house, you have the ability to flip the switch, and you're like, it's a doctor. You do open heart surgery, but you also, do facelifts. So you can turn the switch and tell the homeowner, yeah, Mrs. Jones, I'll handle this for you. How does that work, that process?
So we'll get a phone call from somebody and say, hey, my basement flooded. Do you
Correct.
folks handle that type of work? Do you do restoration? Absolutely. Been in the restoration game for 25 plus years, let's say. So what happens is I have to go out there and I have to assess the damage. Got to take photographs. I got to visually put my eyes on it. I got to see what was the cause and what was the origin. So what a lot of guys do is they get out there and they get happy feet because they see dollar signs. Right. I'm not seeing dollar signs. What I'm actually seeing is there's a problem. We need to figure out how it happened. What was the cause of it and where was the origin of it, right?
Yep. Once
I establish that, then I say to them, okay, you have the means to open up a claim and be legitimate, because you don't want to frivolously open up a claim for no reason. If somebody has a little water leak and they want to open up a claim, I'm like, okay, it's not going to be worth it. You're going to waste a lot of time and effort, and they're going to write you a check back negatively because you have a $1,000 or $1,500 deductible that you're responsible to pay. And now you have a strike against you because you opened up a claim on your insurance for an item that was $2,000 and they gave you $500 because you have to pull the deductible out. Now, it doesn't make sense. So, but if it's a legitimate claim, then I walk them through the processes and the steps of what needs to be done, how it needs to be done, and what the protocol is. You have to follow protocol in an insurance claim. And there is a lot of facets of insurance that most guys don't understand. Okay. So I'm going to give you five areas in insurance that you have to understand. Number one is mitigation. You have to go in and you have to mitigate what happened. So if it's a water loss, you have to suck water out. You have to extract water. You have to set up equipment.
Hold on. Yeah, let me make a comment on that because it's very, very good. For anyone homeowner out there, this is really, really, really sage advice. Brian is very experienced in this, and when he says you have to mitigate your damages, the insurance company, to insure your house, also in the policy says, as a homeowner, mitigate your damages. What does that mean? And what Brian's saying is you need to make an attempt to stop the damage or stop the damage from furthering itself. Meaning, if there's a flood, you have to call an emergency plumber. If there's water standing in your basement or on the carpet and everything, you need to call and get the extraction companies out there to start drying it out. Now, a lot of homeowners just call their agent. That's okay.
Right.
Because you need a claim number right away. But at the same time, parallel to that, you need to call a good contractor that can come out there and stop the loss, take pictures, document everything, and prepare for the rebuild so that you as a homeowner get what your insurance company promised you. Does that make sense?
Yes, but in one facet it does, in another it doesn't. Do not call a plumber to stop the leak. Do not call somebody out just to do the dry down. You want to call a restoration contractor. Restoration contractor is all encompassed in every bit of that. They do it all. And the reason being is because now you're going to have to juggle bills with the insurance company. The plumber's going to want to get paid. Okay. They're going to come in there and say, okay, I fixed it. Pay me. Well, I turn it into my insurance. Okay. Well, pay me. You can get it back from your insurance company. We come in, and as a restoration contractor, we handle everything. So we get the plumber. We bring them in. We handle the estimate. We mitigate the risk. We do all of that. So there's a process. You want a restoration firm that does all of it. When you start dealing with a multitude of different contractors, things get convoluted, number one. And number two, you create havoc. You think that doing a remodeling job is bad? Try a restoration job when you're getting involved with multiple contractors and trades. So if you have one company that does it all like we do, then we take that whole entire project over and we run it for you. We make sure that we're getting you back to pre-loss conditions when we leave there, okay? So going back to the components of a loss, there's 5 components. Number 1 would be the mitigation, okay? Number 2 is the remediation. We're going to remediate things. Number 3 would be structure, what structurally happened and what needs to go back. Number 4 would be textiles. Number 5 are your contents. And if you have electronics, that would be the 6th one that would be part of it. However, in a basement loss, unless the water is spraying all over the electronics, or you have high humidity, right? The electronics sometimes don't come into play. So that's why I said there's 5 prongs to that.
Sure.
Meaning you have textiles such as bedding, clothing, pillows.
Contents.
Yeah, well, couches, right? That they have to be cleaned. Then
are there companies that you work with that are professionally
cleaning? Absolutely. Yeah, I work with all the top major companies who handle all that, and I set all that up for you, and I make this a very painless, pain-free experience for the homeowner, because we call it in with you. We get the claim number. We walk you through the whole step. What people fail to realize, they think, oh my God, the contractor's going to rip me off. Folks, hear me out with this one. The insurance company does not write a check to the restoration contractor. They write the check directly to you, the homeowner, and if you have a mortgage company, your mortgage company is on that check as well.
So yeah, how do you get the mortgage company when you never even you remortgaged a while ago and then they sold it off to a new company? It becomes a nightmare. Can you help navigate through that?
Absolutely. We say, hey, did you have a second? Did you have a home improvement loan? Do you have a HELOC? Things of that nature. I got to ask questions. There's a lot involved in it. It's not as simple as people portray it to be. There's a lot of guys out there that, they'll throw a fan in the back of their truck and all of a sudden they're a restoration contractor, and they're not. They know nothing about chemicals. They know nothing about the remediation of the water. They know nothing about spraying with antimicrobials.
Do you ever use Benefect?
I use it all the time.
Give everyone the benefit of that.
So Benefect is an antimicrobial that is plant-based, meaning it's derived from plants. It's safe for humans. It's safe for animals, pets, anybody, right? So technically you could drink it. You're not going to get sick from it, but it attacks mold at the source. And what it does is it impregnates where the mold is and stops mold growth.
Interesting, because I remember doing a class on Benefect, and the guy's like, listen, if you have a strep throat, you can gargle with it, and literally it'll cure it.
Yeah.
People are like, what? They don't realize that because it's green and it's a natural chemical.
Correct.
But it also kills all the microbials and encapsulates them to prevent them from regrowing.
Well, and then get you down another road, right? So you might stop the mold, no problem. But then you might have to remediate the mold. Remediate it might cause you to, like, say you have heavy mold growth and we spray it. Okay, we stop the mold, but the mold is still present there. So then we might have to encapsulate it. Encapsulation means we have to cover it with a product that's not going to allow that mold to penetrate the encapsulation. So that has to be sprayed with an additional product. So you have to follow standards that are set forth by the IICRC. And those are classes that we all have to take to be able to do this properly, so that later on you don't have mold come back and attack you again. So I ran into this for years and years. You go up in the attic on a roof.
Yeah.
And the customers up in the attic, they go, oh my God, I have mold all over my plywood upstairs. No problem. You call a roofer. Roofer comes out. Yep, we'll change the plywood out. Roofer gets there, they rip all the plywood out, and they put new plywood back down. They re-roof the house. The guy thinks, oh, they did a great job. I love these guys. Year and a half later, he goes back up there. He's got mold all over the plywood. What's happening? Why do I have mold? Well, I'm going to tell you why you have mold. Because you hired Chuck in the truck, and he came over and ripped off the plywood. You thought you were getting a great deal, and he put the roof on. It looks fantastic. However, what Chuck did not do is he did not spray all the framing members with Benefact to kill the mold that's on all the rafters. So it's like a hospital room.
Yeah.
You have an operation. It's a sterile environment, right? You don't just walk in there with Windex and spray it down and you roll the next guy in and say, here we go, let's do a surgery.
Right.
It has to be
a deep clean.
Deep cleaned. It's got to be sterilized again. And that's what you have to do with the roof. Otherwise, you're going to have mold again.
No, it makes sense. And that's the thing. So no one wants mold. No one wants to have that. Mold's a dirty word, obviously, but it is what it is.
To an insurance company, you're not going to get it covered. Once you have mold, it's an exclusion in policy. And you're pretty much all done unless you pay for mold. And if you pay for mold on your policy, it's extremely expensive.
Yeah, and that's what I figured. So that's good. All right, well, Brian, that's great advice. Again, if anyone needs an insurance repair contractor, a claim handled, or any kind of renovation from A to Z, Metro Home Improvement is pre-screened by Hire It Done. Great advice. Go to hireitdone.com. You'll find Metro Home Improvement there. You'll find Brian's podcast, links to everything. Great partner to the show. Welcome back again, Brian. I appreciate you, brother. Looking forward to building it big.
Thanks. I'm glad to be back.
Thank everyone for tuning in today. Brian, thank you. Again, you can text us 927-1985, area code 248. We always have questions and answers during the week if you want it. But every Saturday morning here on Facebook and all our social medias live and on WRIF 101.1 FM at 8 a.m. So thanks for tuning in, Brian. We're going to chop this up into some reels. And thank you again, man.
Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it. Look forward to doing it again real soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, more, a lot, all the time. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you later.